What's up, everybody? It's Duke here, back from sportsgamers.com, and in today's Madden 20 tip, I'm going to be showing you guys the new best run defense in the entire game. This is post-patch run defense that is going to be able to stop every single run in the game. We're going to show you how to blow up inside zone from shotgun, any inside zone. You're going to be able to shoot in the backfield and hit it for a loss. And also, we're going to look at under center, stretch, dive, run combo, so you can lock up anything. Now, this is going to be out of Jets playbook on defense, but you could do this from many different playbooks. The formations I show you are very common. As you guys know, there's a recent patch that came out that pretty much wiped out some of the best run defenses in the game, with the bench blitz and also the big dime 1-4-6. So with the bench blitz, we were able to sack the quarterback before they could hand the ball off on stretch and dive. That no longer works. Then with the big dime 1-4-6 against shotgun inside zones, a lot of times you would hit the in the backfield pretty much every time. That doesn't work either. So we've had to get in a lab to find some new run defense, and in this video I'm going to show you just that. So before we get into the setups, I do want to remind you guys to please click the subscribe button in the corner of the video to subscribe to the channel, and also make sure you turn your notifications on so you don't miss any of our videos. We've been uploading pretty much every day lately, so you don't want to miss out. Also, guys, in the meantime, if you want to get better at Madden 20, please head over to sportsgamers.com. We have the best tips and ebooks for you guys at a really good price. So with all that said, let's get into it. I want to show you guys how to stop any inside zone in the game, whether the running back is on the left to the quarterback or to the right of the quarterback. Super easy. I use the big nickel over G, which is pretty much in any playbook in the game. Well, all the standard playbooks anyways. And you're going to want to control the linebackers. So if your linebackers are not good, you could also in this formation put in the safeties. You just want someone fast in the backfield. It's very easy to do. I'm going to use cover 3 sky. Okay, guys, I want to get into the defense now. We're going to be using it with auto flip on. Before we show too many examples, I do want you guys to realize auto flip is on. So depending upon which side the running back lines up basically to the quarterback, it's going to affect how the defensive line lines up. So guys, I'm going to show you some examples where the running back is lined up to the left of the quarterback and also to the right of the quarterback. This is kind of, like I said, this will affect the way your D-line lines up. Considering that we have auto flip on, the defense will line a bit differently. So if you're playing against a formation like trips tight end, or just something in general where the running back is lined up to the right of the quarterback, you'll see that in formations like this, the D-tackle on the right side of the screen, he's going to line up more so in the A-gap or directly over the guard, whereas the D-tackle on the left is going to line up more so in the B-gap than directly over the guard. So you guys can move the inside linebackers in, it's fine. But bottom line, what I do always is I always control the linebacker on the right. Now, when this D-tackle is kind of lined up directly into the A-gap, sort of over the guard like this, I'll just stand right about here. I stand right about here regardless. But basically, when the ball's snapped, if the running back's on the right, you can shoot in that left A-gap really easily. If the running back's on the right of the quarterback, it's always going to be the left A-gap you look to shoot, regardless of formation they're in. If he's on the right, that's the A-gap you're going to look to shoot. It's pretty easy to do, as you can see there. You can go for the hit stick, or you can just conservative tackle. Even, you see sometimes you get sheds by your D-line, so you don't even have to do anything. It's super easy. Like, as you guys see, you can click off. But we have good run support there regardless. Another thing is, I know a lot of people like to spy the opposite D-tackle out of this formation against scramblers. That's fine. You can still do that. And it doesn't really affect the run D. We can still shoot in. Easy. Easy peasy. Now, notice how this looks if the running back is actually on the left side of the screen, or to the left of the quarterback, like in a wide trips. It's going to look a bit differently. So in like a wide trips, you'll see that now, instead of, if you look, this D-tackle, he's more in the B-gap, and this tackle, he's more in the A-gap. If you look at the replay, you'll see that when the running back's on the right, it's pretty much opposite. As you guys can see here, this is the replay of the running back on the right. Notice how the D-tackles are lined up. The D-line is just lined up differently. So that's something to be aware of. So you guys can see here, that's me shooting the gap with him on the right. Now, really the only difference when the running back on the left is, the screen is the A-gap we're going to shoot in, because the D-line's lined up a bit differently. We still control this linebacker. We just have to move a little bit more to the outside, because now he's, instead of like here, he's like more like here. So we just have to line up a bit more to the outside of him. And this time, instead of going through the left A-gap, we kind of go into the right A-gap. Bam. So it's just the different A-gap you attack and the different placement of the D-line, depending upon which side of the screen, which side of the quarterback the running back lines up on. But as you guys can see, still extremely easy to do. That was a bad click off by me, so they were able to get a few yards. But that's the great thing about this defense. Even if you mess up, which it's pretty easy to do, so you probably shouldn't mess up too often, the defense is just good in general to where that's not going to really affect it. So here's another example. Again, the running back's on the left. Again, I had to shoot in the right A gap. And I fell over after I shot in, so I didn't make the tackle. But that's just a great example. This defense is solid. So even if you do mess up, and you probably shouldn't, the defense is going to be there for you to kind of make up for your mistakes. Again, I shot in there. Didn't make the tackle, though. Forced him too far outside. My computer was able to make the tackle. But guys, I promise you, this is something really easy to do. See as I knife in there for the tackle. It's not hard. You guys should be able to get this down within a few minutes. Just going back to a different example so you can see, again, we're going to go back to the running back on the right. I'll use a dual tight end formation this time. And you guys can see it's just going to be the difference again. Instead of the running, now the D-line is just lined up a bit differently again. You can see this guy's more in the B gap. This guy's more in the A gap. Again, look at it with the running back on the left. You can see it's pretty much the roles are reversed now. That's fine. We're always just going to control the guy on the right. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty much the same thing. We still stand in the same place. We still hit the left A gap with the running backs on the right, and we hit the right A gap with the running backs on the left, all in relation to the quarterback. But once you guys figure this out, it's really easy to do. As you can see there, it's not hard at all. So you guys can see this is really easy to do. Again, backfield loss. They're not going to want to run inside zone once you do this to them enough. Alright guys, so now I want to look at under center. So under center, like I said, the bench blitz no longer works. So when you're dealing with the dive, stretch combo, whether it's from like a heavy set like I tight or a single back set, what do you want to do? Storm Brave doesn't work that well anymore. The bench blitz is patched. Edge blitz is still solid, but I feel like that doesn't work as good either. So for me, what I've been running is the 3-3-5 wide. I've liked this run D because it's it's good run D, and then also with the 2-man under setup, cover 2-man, you're not leaving yourself open to the pass either. So this is pretty simple. All you're gonna want to do, as you guys know, is spread the D line, crash them down, spy the safeties. So the spy and the safeties is what really makes this D good. You can press, by the way, too, to get them to come up further. You can put this blitzing linebacker in coverage, shade over the top if you don't have a good press corner. You're going to control the middle linebacker. So the key to this defense is really, honestly, kind of like how you set it up with your personnel, which I'll explain in a second. But generally, guys, what happens here, as you guys can see, we just basically just run to the outside against the stretch. And, we're there for the tackle every time. But what basically happens here, and this is a tip I put up months ago, is when you spy the safeties, they react immediately to the run. That's what makes this so good, is when you spy the safeties, they're immediately going to react. So because they're immediately reacting to the run, they're shooting down on an outside run like this, the lead blocker is always going to be taken out. And then even if the safety himself doesn't make the tackle, because the lead blocker is taken out, all I have to do is just run to the outside and click off, and the computer can make the tackle for me with my user. That's every time. It doesn't matter, at all. Now, because the safeties are a big part of this, you definitely want safeties with high speed, pursuit, and play recognition and awareness, especially the speed and pursuit, so they really get in the backfield. The other thing is this defense really is more effective when you have, defensive players that have the run-stopping abilities. And if you only have one, I'd recommend him being over the center at D tackle at all times. Definitely, you'll notice a big difference like that. But yeah, if you have defensive line run-stopping abilities, this defense goes from being really, really good against the run to basically shut down. Because, obviously it's going to be hard to run to the outside against this defense when it's so spread out, right? I mean, that should go without saying. But, someone might try to run a dive. We'll do a few more stretches just so you can see, this is every time. They're going to be hard-pressed to gain a yard to run any sort of stretch. They can run other, single backs. We'll do in a second here. They can playmaker it. It's just really good outside run D in general. So here's a stretch the other way. You guys can see what I'm talking about. Oftentimes the safety will make the tackle himself, but even if he doesn't, you're going to be right there. Now, if we go to ISO, you're probably thinking to yourself, this is so spread out, won't I have a big lanes? And the answer is no. You're going to get maybe a yard or two running dives and ISOs, even from big formations like this, which is pretty wild. And again, that's kind of why I really like this run D, is because it kind of, it's really hard to get big runs no matter what. So you guys can see the same exact setup. And again, what you're going to notice here is on the ISO, you're going to be lucky. Yeah, I know we fell forward for like 4 yards there, but you're going to be lucky to get a yard or two before you get tackled. Sometimes you might fall forward. We have a good running back and mixing it, for this video. But most of the time, you're not going to fall forward like that. And, just like that, you'll be lucky to get a yard or two. Now, as you guys can see, I have one D lineman with a run stopping ability. And he's doing pretty decent. But I can promise you guys, if you have 2 to 3 D-line run stopping abilities, that the O-linemen basically get thrown out of the way. And on inside runs, they don't get anything. Even if you don't have any at all, this is still really good run defense for the inside run. You'll most of the time only give up a yard or two, and even if they break a tackle, a yard or two run's only going to turn into 3 and 4 because it's just such good run defense. But if you do have those D-line abilities, it's going to just go up a whole nother notch. So I would definitely recommend using them if you're going to want to run this defense. Now, another thing about this, guys, is single back, like stretch dive. You might be wondering, well, how does it do against that? Because obviously, this is a good for the big heavy formations like I type, but what about like the single back wing flex close or something like that? It's really solid against that too. Again, you guys can see we're going to do the exact same defense. And obviously, if you want to change up your coverage like on your outside corners, you can. But the main thing you need to do is have the safeties and spies, and then just spread the D line out and crash them down and use this linebacker. So I mean, you definitely can, if you want, change the coverage up. That is no problem at all. Like, you can definitely change the coverage up without any issues. However, just, obviously be careful what your assignments are. Because something like this, if I don't cover the deep middle, I might get cooked if there's a streak going down the seam. So, if you're going to change the coverage up out of the man, be very, very careful. All right. So, again, you can see stretch is not going to get much at all. That's our best stretch yet, and we got 3 to 4. If that's how you're living, you can do that every time as far as I'm concerned. I'm good with it. For sure. Again, you guys can see here, this is more like it, another loss. And it's good either way. It's good to the left and the right. When you run this defense, I would recommend having the auto flip on to make sure that, you're not going to give up, any sort of, them flipping their formation, coming out in different formations flipped. You're not going to get misaligned. You guys can see again here, nothing really going on. So, I know a lot of the run defenses changed after this patch, but this run defense has remained, in my opinion, one of the best, and at the given moment, the best in the game, since the nickel 2-4-5 odd bench blitz just no longer works. And I feel like the 3-4 odd run Ds that were really good early in the year, they either don't work at all. I feel like Storm Brave is terrible now, and I feel like Edge Blitz is still pretty good, but I do like this one better, just because I feel like it's more consistent and it's better against the pass. As you guys can see here, I mean, literally it's just man up across the board. And if you get a D-line that not only has run-stopping abilities, but pass rushing abilities too, if they end up having to pass the ball against this, they're going to have problems. As you guys can see here against the dive, again, they're lucky to get a yard before it's completely stopped. This even will work against stretch RPO formations. It's not just a regular stretch. This will work against stretch RPOs too. So if we go to the strong H wing, which is one of the more common ones in the entire game, you're going to notice that it does a really, really good job, guys. It really stops as well. I definitely feel like this is, one of the more solid ones you guys will find in the game. Just like this right here. You can see you can even take off the man assignments on the fullback and running back if you're not worried about them, to put purples out. This really makes it really hard to pass the ball too, even if you're going to pass. But look, this is the stretch wing or the H wing formation with the stretch alert lucky. You guys can see it doesn't work. It's not going to get yards. Ramsey's right there in the backfield. Even if he's not, we're flying through to make the tackle. And if you want to run a dive, people like to use the motion dive from this formation. That doesn't even work either. So this is probably, like I said, the best pound for pound run defense in the game right now. I've had a lot of questions and comments on the YouTube and even my site, sportsgamers.com, in the past week, asking me, hey, this new patch came out, what is the best run D to use? Is it 3-4 odd? Is the bench blitz still work? Is it 3-5 wide? Well, that's why I decided to do this video. As you guys can see, I definitely think it's a 3-5 wide. You're not going to get good yards running the ball consistently pretty much ever against this defense. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I have shown you guys a few runs to counter the 3-5 wide, so if you face it, you're going to have to use the motions I showed you to counter it in those runs. You can still counter it with motion, but it's just really hard to compared to a lot of the run defenses in the game. So I hope this video helped you guys learn how to stop the under center runs, and also a new defense you can use to shoot the inside zone in the backfield at a shotgun. So until next time, it's Duke. I'm out of here. Thank y'all for the support.